the form that we've seen from the Knights over the last 6 weeks has been superb, led by Caelan Ponga.
Confidence with some key players who have come back over the last few weeks, one of them being Kickow.
Surge to try and push their way into the finals and in front of a big crowd. Now in recent times, they'll be a lot better today than they were back in round 18.
Well, it's that round 18 game against the Bulldogs where they won 66-0. They were 4-3.
We are King, who brings it back, and he'll play it here 15th for a long time in the NRL. Played just one game in the second half. Standing underneath it, Greg Marju makes a good catch with his first attempt.
Jacob Saifidi, who's hitting the ball up now, joined by his brother Daniel, who returns.
Again, by the Bulldogs. Kick towards that corner. Here they are, Charles defensively. Elliott runs towards Burton, loses the ball. Play on. Line set to the left-hand side. It goes to Tavita Pangai Jr., who takes the tackle in this set. Burton, kick out, tipping it on. Wilson couldn't hang on to it.
Side to cover. Newcastle now trying to get it out of their own area.
Pass. Dominic Young taken down by Burton. Big tackle there that had to stay in the field of play. Saifidi reaching with enough to take the speed spread. Pangai Jr. again, an offload. A bridge too far for him this time. To Gagai. They were very narrow there on this right-hand side, Newcastle. But Gagai
down.
Shrugged away from the ineffective. So Caelan Ponga, who kicked 11 last week against the Raiders before game-winning streak.
I think there could be an argument with Ponga's being.
They are rattled at the moment, as Wilson in particular. Here is Frizzell. Elliott showing it to Thompson, gives it to Thompson, who was that close.
We certainly know it's no.
Opportunity to catch the ball, it's a professional foul.
A pretty easy place, really, once the hand was bleed.
Ponga from beside the uprights makes it a 14 in.
But they're down to 12, the Dog.
So with a win today, they'll push themselves to the bodybuilder. He had Kickow in trouble as well before he slipped over, but a gamble, tip on Gagai. What a touch that was! Young for the corner! And while we'll never know whether Burton gets there, we don't think it's
critical of back rowers that don't run their lines and have an opportunity to miss the defender.
Maybe out the back to Burton. Kickow on the angle, then straightens as he moves towards top. Stop there by Kickow. Heads in field. Wants to keep it going. Wrapped up event. Ponga linking up there with Gagai on the right-hand side. He favours that left edge. He will grab it towards the corner. It'll find the touch in. Early in the game against the Dolphins 2 weeks ago, which they eventually won 23-22. At the moment, Gagai, somebody eventually will make them pay. There was a touch there by Wilson here. A broken leg and ankle, and there it was, just getting caught. A hip drop motion.
Understand it's a hip drop.
No surprise. That was a pretty obvious call here with Dell. Golden chance here for the Knights. Man spins from dummy half.
Just gets him going the wrong way. Can't come back quick enough, and it goes past him, actually.
Is taken here while Preston sits and waits for his return. Ponga, Bulldogs, this season.
Dummy half has done a great job.
Most of the season now, of course. Brownie playing just the 5 games before his mistake by Newcastle. And the Dogs still with 11 men for
here. Warren, the ball from Averillo was a beauty.
Involving Wilson as Marju stutter step there as he brings it back. Line here, the Knights on the kick chase. Gagai makes the tackle, and the Dogs begin the diagnosis as this game progresses. Find out more about that. I'll get to the Knights and the Bulldogs, and Jack Hetherington throwing himself to Daniel Saifidi. He wants support. He finds Gamble. 13 on left.
Positioned himself beautifully for that pass off Daniel Saifidi.
So Ponga just keeps kicking goals at the southern end. Work it away here. In red, we won't know until basically things have wrapped up on Sunday night in round 27. Dogs trail 26 points to 0 again, and Adokar takes a carry here, brings it time. Something like 8 points a game less they are conceding. They played the best part of 18 minutes in this first half. The game. It's Averillo to bring it back. And the Bulldogs begin here just out. Raz hands it off to Adokar. Big fend on Crossland.
Ponga shut things down.
towards the playoffs. Ponga makes the catch and then he slips over. They tripped over on the red paint. And by those players who are in front of the kicker.
Off the ball now. Back to me.
Off the back of it. Feet as well. He was pleading for the referee. Thought there was some work on the ground. That piece of foul play. Out towards Marju. The ball bouncing around. Referee Chihuahua.
Up and down on the spot for the last 10.
Then on A for the Newcastle Knights. Here's Ponga. Bending it back. He's missed. Still in Newcastle.
But he didn't give himself any depth. He was on top of the defence when the pass was thrown from Harrison Edwards.
His usual calm self. He just wants his team to restart, go back to the opening sets of the matches. We see an error.
They need to settle down. Newcastle, a couple of errors from both teams to open up.
Early in the tackle count, nobody really pushing through. Marnie did well. The change as Knights works it forward here, just outside the cross to Sexton. Kick out, charging back towards the upright. In recent weeks, this run of wins so much improved what they were showing. He shoves it to Sexton, a kick. This one doesn't work. Here's Gagai.
Dogs defenders there, and then Burton makes the tackle on Gamble as they go back down that short side.
Through the first 2/3 of the season.
Well, one completed set.
More coaches than Sid Fogg.
But the writing was on the wall.
Lowering and laughing over the top there of Harrison Edwards. Comes back to Edwards. Under the ground there by Murillo. Here's Marnie. 6 again. Marnie loses it on.
A convincing yes.
His team. They are 30 to the good. Their completion rate. Two transformative figures in the sporting landscape. Brian would like to see the intensity, certainly defensively, main tonight's 20. Here is as Adam O'Brien rings the changes and Lachlan Fitzgibbon rings with on the Gold Coast. Don't anticipate a mad 100 points to 0 in Premiership history. Going back
there from Viliami kick out. Beautifully read. The Knights
have had chances inside the 20. Blake Wilson had the ball go through his hands. The question is, will Jackson Hastings be available? Touch there by Carraz, and he knocked it on. From Ponga to the outside, brought Chihuahua onto the ball, taken down there by Adam. Does the bench forward. Now Leo Thompson!
To the tackle. Oh, he
has his first try.
The words of Casey Badger. He's about 10.
Right in front.